Stained concrete is one of the hottest trends in flooring. They look and feel like expensive polished stone. Perhaps the best part of this durable and low-maintenance flooring option is that it's very affordable. Although some people choose to stain the concrete themselves, this project is better left to the professionals. It's important that you have the right materials for your project, and safety is always the top priority. Okay, Jamon, let's go over the tools you need. You're going to use a razor scraper. We've got a mop and mop bucket. We've got water and TSP. Just a couple of tablespoons and then fill it up with water. We've got a good floor vac, a floor machine. We have good quality paper towels. Now this is we've got a black pad, which is a very aggressive scrubbing pad, and a pad driver for our floor machine. It holds the pad in place, and it fits onto the floor machine. First thing we do is paper and tape. Take the 2-inch tape and apply a strip along the bottom of the wall. When you get to the corners and the doors, make sure that the tape is tightly into the contours. Tack up the top edge of the paper as you go along. Okay, now Jamon, you know how to use the machine, and you've got all your equipment. You need to get the floor completely clean.
Okay.
So we're going to take plenty of water, pour it out, use the floor machine, and scrub it. Then you'll come in behind me with this wet vacuum and vacuum it up. We want to get it agitated and lifted, vacuum it up before it settles back down into the concrete. We'll do that across all of the floor until it's finished. Then we'll go back into the edges and clean the edges by hand. Okay, Jamon, we're ready to start scoring.
Yes.
Let's look at the equipment we're going to use. Okay, safety is very important. So you've got a dust mask and you've got goggles. You need chalk and line,
Okay.
pencil and tape measure. You've got a circular saw. We've got a straight board here. Okay, so let's set that down. Now you can use a circular saw and a guide board, but professionals really prefer precision cutting equipment, and it's got straight line wheels and it's got a guide bar that comes down and follows the line. Before plugging in the saw, set the depth of the blade, then check the cut before you begin the floor. If you look under the saw, you may see the offset, or the distance from the edge of the blade. That distance on this saw is 1 1/4 inches. 1 1/4 inch for this saw, plus the 6 inches of the border, makes our border wide enough. Place the board against the wall and cut the border all the way around the room. Always wear safety gear, including a respirator, eye goggles, earplugs, and knee pads. Okay, now we're going to go through and use a string mop and completely go over the entire floor. As you take that wet string mop, if you see any little spots or places that don't get dark, then there's something there. We need to clean it up. So we're going to string mop it, then we're going to check all of the paper and tape and make sure we don't have any tears, and we're ready to stain. Okay, Jamon, now we're ready to stain. So let's go over the equipment we're going to use. We've got an all-plastic pump-up sprayer. I like the little ones for getting tight areas.
Okay.
We've got a larger all-plastic pump-up sprayer, okay? Plastic tip, plastic wand. We're going to use good gloves, masks. We've got paper towels. At the end, we're going to come back and scrub this down. So we've got water, a vacuum, and a scrub brush. Pressurize the bottle and spray the stain in a random pattern with a light coat. Don't use back and forth motions or regular predictable patterns. Apply the stain wet, short of puddles. Now that the entire floor is stained, we're going to let it sit and dry. Then we'll come back in for a second coat. On the second coat, one person sprays the stain and the second person brushes it in with random figure-8 motions. It's important to remove all the residue from the floor. Mopping alone will not remove the residue. Take this baking soda and add it to the clean water. The baking soda in the water will neutralize the floor. Pour out plenty of water on the floor and we're going to scrub it aggressively. Now, once we've scrubbed it and we've got that residue up and suspended in that water, vacuum it up quickly. Don't let it dry and settle back down, because then we just have to scrub again. Cut in the edges and roll the sealer on the surface. The first coat is applied one direction, the second coat is applied the opposite direction. The general rule of thumb is apply to the point of rejection. Do not allow it to puddle or fill the surface beyond the natural texture.